Hey, good day.
How you
Dcal
doing?
Calloway.
He always out of order. How y'all doing? I'm Aundra Bell, and we have a very, very, very special guest in the house today. And her name is
Amina Matheny Willard.
Yes. I know you may have seen her. I know you heard about her work because she do excellent work, and she's one of the best attorneys in this area. And I'm going to say that I'm going to go on record saying she's one of the best.
There we go.
And just to work with her and be around her, man, you will fall in love because there's nothing like her. And she believe in loving her people. And we're going to learn all about Miss Amina Matheny Willard. See, I said it. I got that from her. See, she said that so well, so I didn't caught on now. I know how to say it now. So, but yeah, she's one of the best attorneys here. And if you ever need her, her information is there. She's on herself, Commonwealth attorney. This is going to be next year. Yeah, I know next year. I won't say next year.
Just get your stuff together, man. Get your stuff together. Take your time.
And y'all might know the fella's talking too. He stays at the SPCA. He's how long you been a resident there, sir?
Been a family member for years.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of dog he is. Like a hound dog or something. But nah, that's Dcal. That's Dcal. But yeah, at the same time, we're here and we want to talk about Amina, and she's running for Commonwealth attorney. And actually, Amina is in the neighborhood now. She's out there now. And she defend her people. She love her people. And you know what, y'all? She love black men. Can you believe that? When everybody else hate us, she love us, and stepped up, and we'll tell you, hey, it's amazing. But I'm gonna step aside and I'm gonna let Amina, do a little talking, and so you can.
Well, Amina, I want to say that we're happy to have you here. But first of all, we want you to do your special shout outs.
Okay. So I want to give a shout out to my law firm staff, Amira, who is my twin sister.
All right.
As well as Tanisha and Joe.
That's right.
My husband Dennis and my two children, Jay and Detrell.
All right. That's great. That UAB, do you have any special shout outs?
Yeah. I'd like to shout out to SPCA for, letting us borrow this guy here today. I don't, thanks y'all, the Norfolk Zoo, because, he resides in both places. I mean, this guy's amazing. I don't know how you get around, but, yeah, definitely. But I got shouts out. I want to give a shout out to my brother, Clayman. Happy birthday, man. I know you're getting younger, man. So, continue doing what you're doing, man, and getting around like you do, man. I want to give a shout out to his daughter, Nicole. She's been running with me all day long. She was earlier on our radio show, and now, she's around, but she's going to be a guest up here one day. And, she's turning 50. Nicole, happy birthday to you too. She turned 50 years old. You believe it or not, man, time fly, and one thing you can't get back is time. So when you're having time, have a good time.
Enjoy life.
It's all about that. So, and shouts out to Pop and Son, and shouts out to, I got soul. They got the food over there, man. It's amazing. And I'm not going to go into food today because I got into there early and I got hungry. So, we had to do a little pit stop to get something to eat. But, it's all good, though. But, yeah, but when you get a chance, I want y'all to go to I Got Soul. And it's soul food.
And where's this location?
It's in Norfolk, Norfolk,
Okay.
Virginia, right over by Jana.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Virginia Beach Boulevard. So I just say over by Jana because everybody, it's the closest landmark
that is a good landmark to let them know about. What is this? Anyway, I like to give my shouts out to everybody. We had a big time last week, and thanks for holding it down. And Rita, you did a wonderful job.
Yeah, shouts out to Rita, big Rita. You got to put big on that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, we got to put big. We got to emphasize.
Yes, right, big.
Big.
Some you wouldn't understand, but yeah.
We just say big special shout out to you, girl. You did a wonderful job.
Yeah, you did.
Everybody down in South Boston.
Virginia?
Virginia.
Because you have to say that because if you don't say if you say South Boston, they think Massachusetts.
Yeah, you're right, and you're right.
So
that is Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's Virginia.
And you did a movie out there called
Spooks. Yeah, called Spooks, man. We had a very nice time. Shouts out to Keith Powers, who made the big things happen.
That's all right.
The crew, staff, and everybody else. Big Tone, Shark City Boys, he was out there. I mean, we had a fantastic time. It was so wonderful. I mean, I got to meet your family, your friends, the cows, and the pigs and everything.
That's lovely. And that's lovely.
I was wondering why you didn't show up. But, I know you had to be here for the show.
But I mean, you shooting Spooks. You shoot
You could
spooks, right?
lose.
I'm
You
still
could have
scared.
at least
No, you're not
poured
gonna do
into
that.
your family.
No. Look. You shot spooks, right? And I'm looking at you, and I'm still scared.
And the minute you start making some crazy sounds, and you're not going to understand, but just hang on in there.
Yeah, she's trying to understand what you're saying. That's why she's looking at you and laughing. But she really don't understand. Do you understand the words that are coming out of your mouth? No.
Dealing with this fool.
Yeah, but definitely though, yeah, he was out. He did spooks, and he still looked like he in the movie. But that's just his normal look, So.
This guy here is nuts,
yeah.
man, I tell you. I miss you too, man.
How do you get that out of that?
Today's high is going to be at 54 degrees, and the lows is going to be at a chilly 39. So, you better get your blankets on.
Yeah,
ready.
all that's his height. 5'4"
Wind.
to 5'4" to 3'9".
Yes, sir.
That's his height. He's shrinking.
And happy birthday shouts out as well to everybody. All the Taurus.
Taurus.
Aries.
See, there you go.
Taurus
Skipping,
and
I
Aries.
told you. We've been drinking that hooch.
Special moonshine.
Yeah, we've been drinking.
Well, go on about yourself. Let me hold you up.
You don't do every week.
Yeah, we. Yeah. I mean, he's a walking joke if you look at him.
Same as him.
So
It doesn't get any better. No improvements.
I really don't.
So I'll tell everybody about myself. So as they said, my name is Amina Matheny Willard.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I am an attorney, but I'm also a mother and a wife. And I have a twin sister, so a sister as well.
Wow. There's another you.
Well, we're twins, but we're fraternal twins.
I don't want to take the spotlight off of you, Amina. But Amira, she's she trains animals like in the circus and stuff. So you'll be perfect. He'll be perfect for her. She could train him.
My sister, she was in Universal Circus. She's a tiger trainer. She
Yes.
Well, you didn't get that gig.
And she also worked for Ringling Brothers as well.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, she went to the circus. I went to law school.
That's definitely.
It was around the same
Uh-huh.
time.
Definitely.
So
That's what's up.
Definitely.
So yeah, and now she's my paralegal now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I know what it takes for her to get off work, so I'm not going to go into that right now. But you told me she got to write like a 100-page essay just to get off. So but you're the best boss ever. So I mean, if the other bosses did it, they would never get a day. I would never get a day off work because I would have to write the essay. And
well, she always tells me, when she's going to take off. I was like, "Did you do the procedure?" She said yes, and I sent it to HR, which is herself.
Yeah.
She's
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
That's what's up.
But
I can start with like what motivated me.
I was going there, Amina.
Okay.
I think I know what questions to ask you.
Yeah, I can answer any specific questions.
See, this when you're a leader, this is what comes. You always thinking ahead, and that's Amina because she's actually the leader, and she just when she take control, get out the way, and let her do her thing because it's gonna come, and that's just what it is. Because with working with her for how long have we been working together?
I don't know. We've known each other for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so we've been working together just that long. Because and the thing of it is, when I first met you, I was impressed because she told the chief of police how she actually felt.
Wow.
Yes.
No, you did.
And wouldn't back down. For nothing. And hey.
You have to set. So okay. He has to set the scene. First, I didn't know him then.
No,
I didn't even know he was there.
No.
But they had a panel.
Mm-hmm.
The panel was the chief of police, the Commonwealth attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was maybe a city council member or two.
I think so.
And someone invited me to be on the panel with these people.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walked in, I was like, "Are you sure you want me to be on this panel?" Because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. So are you sure? They're like, yeah, go ahead and sit down. And I think the prosecutor, who I had run against, and I don't know if I was running, I may have been running against him at the time, or either I had just run against him. was talking about how crime had increased over the past 5 years. And then at that time, Chief Boone was talking about how they were going to bring in, to me, what it sounded like was the FBI. So then when I spoke, I said, okay, so Chief Boone has been chief for the past 5 years. The Commonwealth said crime has increased for the past 5 years. So how many people know people that can keep their job when they are failing for 5 years? Like, who does that?
No.
And
if your job is to keep crime down,
exactly,
right,
and that's what you've been paid for too,
then why are you still here?
And that's like, and she said those exact words to his face. She's not two-faced. She said it to his face, and she was talking about. She was talking to. I'm not gonna say about because they was there. She was talking to the Commonwealth attorney. She laid exactly what she just told us now. She told Chief Boone the same thing.
Yeah, and they were talking about, it sounded like they were talking about bringing the FBI. And I was like, did anyone hear that? It sounds like they're trying to bring in the FBI to police people that he's supposed to.
Right.
So anyway, that was the context of what happened. But they asked me to be on the panel. And they may have asked me to be on the panel because they thought that would cause me to embrace the panel members. Yeah. But I have nothing personal against them.
No, you made that clear.
But I told Chief Boone, I don't have anything personal against you. You just should not be here. Get a different job.
Yes, and she actually told him that. I mean, I was like, "Oh, I love this lady here because she can speak what's on her mind." And how many people will do that? They'll get up there, like you say, they'll sugarcoat it. Yeah, and then they'll get behind the scenes and say something. But no, this was right in front of everybody. She said it. I was like, "Where did she get that boldness from?"
Well, but you have to and I've told him, I've had actual conversations. Like I sat down with him, so I don't even know I don't know what they thought I was going to do.
Just the opposite
on the panel,
but you know
what? She's on the panel. She's gonna act like she's all part of this.
Exactly. Backfire.
Probably won't invite
me. No, I don't think so, Mina. I really don't think so.
No, like her.
No, because she's gonna say what's on her mind. She's not the go along to get along type. But like I said, you're in the community and people see you. And they be like, when they see you on the Facebook and everything, and they be like, I know her. I'm like, yeah, you do know her. She's on TV.
Always on TV.
That's the attorney, the people's attorney, and she's there for us. So it's been people that say that for us, but when that TV go off, they go home. They don't care about what's going on in the neighborhood,
right?
Or who's getting killed, who's getting shot, and Amina stands up. She's always right there with us, and and she got a little buddy that I'm gonna say her friend, Rhoda, and she teaches Rhoda a lot, of course. Shouts out to you, Rhoda. But she teaches Rhoda a lot. That's why you hear her say allegedly, this is where she got the word from. Because you just can't go around saying that people has done something. You have to say allegedly, so because you don't know, and nobody really know the whole story. So
you don't want to get sued for defamation.
If
you're wrong.
I told you will get sued. Believe that.
And that's why I said it that way, so you could break it down to the people and have them understand.
Yeah,
there you
allegedly. Go. So when you hear that someone has done something, just like when someone's charged with a crime, you don't say that they committed this crime, but they allegedly committed the crime. So that's the belief, but it's not like concrete. So you can that word will help you a lot.
Yeah, keeps you from getting sued, right?
Yep.
So allegedly. What allegedly about Sean Puffy Combs?
I don't even know what to say about that.
I don't either, but it's open, so I really didn't want to go there.
The allegations are very disturbing.
Very, very.
And I don't really follow him enough to know to even have an opinion.
I don't either. Thank you. Thank you. I really don't, because we don't want to go there. Thank you. Thanks, Amina. You saved me again. But I want to know something, and I guess I always wanted to ask you this. What made you want to be an attorney?
So, I guess the catalyst, the main thing is I lived in I lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've lived a lot of different places. Because my mother moved us around a lot. She is not in the military. That's always what people ask. But I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I was watching a documentary about a guy who had been in prison for about 20 years.
Excuse me.
He was serving, I don't know if he had served half of the sentence, but he had a lot more time to serve. And he ultimately ended up getting out because they had, I guess, new technology that allowed them to test the DNA that they had collected that they couldn't test before. He was not guilty. And so that bothered me because, you want some water?
Yes.
I think there's some in the refrigerator. That bothered me because I was very concerned that he had spent 20 years in prison for something that he didn't do.
Yeah.
And so I decided at that time that I wanted to help people become a defense attorney. I didn't feel like anyone should serve any time for crimes that they didn't do. And that made me decide to start looking into the law and start focusing on how to become a lawyer. And I realized I had to finish school and then go. So after I finished school, you go to graduate school, 4 years of college. I got my bachelor's, and then law school is 3 years. So
you've been putting into work.
Yeah. So I figured out, what I needed to do in order to get that done. And I started to pursue that. And that's what I've been, doing. And I've been practicing now for 24 years. And I absolutely love it. So I wouldn't trade that for the world. So that's what got me started on that path.
That's a lot of time. A lot of energy. I don't know if I could do it.
And I can tell all of you also when I started law school, my son was 2 years old. So I would take him to school with me. Is that a caller?
You got a caller. Hold on just 1 second.
That sounds like an old fashioned.
Yeah.
Hello, caller. How you doing? What's your name? Where you calling from?
That's David. I'm Bill. I'm calling from North here.
Wow, man, Bill. How you doing, sir?
Hi, brother. How about yourself? Kelly, you and Miss Sandra Brown are sounding great on the line, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Y'all need to keep up the good work and get some more programs going.
All right. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So how's your day going, Bill?
Going good. The weather's good. No problems.
Okay, that's great.
Y'all sound like y'all having a good day so far.
Yes, yes, we are. We will be here talking with our favorite attorney here.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions that you might want to ask her?
No, sir, not really. No, sir.
No, sir, not really.
I try to stay away from lawyers. I get too much trouble.
Well, Bill.
Have a good day, and I will leave on that note.
Okay, Bill.
All right,
Thanks
Bill.
for calling, Bill. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Sir.
All right. Listen, no.
Yeah. Bill gave a name that ain't even up here. Sandra Brown. Who's that? We looking around like, who's Sandra Brown?
You said what now?
He said
Sandra Brown.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Bill might be drinking too. Some of your alcohol.
Allegedly.
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. There you go. But I can state a fact though.
With that, I can't say Eddie Murphy is turning. Happy birthday again. Eddie Murphy is turning 62 years old.
Is he?
Wow, I didn't know he was that old. 62 years old. Robert Downey Jr. coming in at 58. Billy G. Williams is 86 years old.
Cool 45.
Yes, sir. Good malt liquor. Russell Crowe at 59. Jackie Chan is at 69.
Jackie, who? Wait a minute.
Jackie Chan.
That ain't what you said.
Jackie Chan. Cha-cha-cha.
Jackie Chan. Who is Jackie Chan? Somebody tell me Jackie Chan.
He's always got a career.
I know it, right? Jackie Chan. What the? I told y'all you can read. Y'all keep messing with it. But it's okay, though. I understand.
Oh, you terrible,
man. All right. But I mean, it's been a long road. 24 years
44
in law.
I mean, she's been doing it.
Yeah.
You've been doing it.
Yeah, so I mean, I know you deal with facts, not like the fiction that's running around. We hear a lot of stuff about, like this. They say this is law and that's the law, and you always, you just uncover all that stuff for me all the time. So I don't even listen to these street lawyers because it's not going to get it.
You're gonna get you far, neither.
So on that note, let me just say, if you ask an undercover police if they are the police, they do not have to say yes. I don't know who started that. Have you ever heard people saying?
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah.
That's a lie. That's stupid.
What? Oh.
They do not have to tell you. That makes okay. Oh my God. Stop.
Wow.
That's one of the.
You got me looking like him.
Because you not have to tell you the truth. That makes no sense.
I always thought. Listen now, like you say, it's hearsay. Yeah. But I always thought they say
street knowledge.
Yes. They say if a police asks, if you ask police if they are the police,
right,
they have to tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
But let me tell you why they tell that to us.
Wow.
So that they, this is why because this is what you're saying. If you ask a police officer to tell you the truth, they have to. That's essentially what you're saying, right?
Right.
So,
right.
So you now believe that police officers can't lie. So when they tell you, when they're interrogating you, and they say your girlfriend said you had the gun, oh, that must be true. They're lying. The Supreme Court has said they can lie. They can lie to you. When they tell you these things.
Whoa.
So that whole thing is like, oh, police officers cannot lie. They can. They absolutely can lie.
And will.
They're not supposed to lie on the stand. They do, but they're not supposed to. But when they're investigating, don't stop spreading that, please. But
I didn't know, seriously.
From a practical standpoint, does that make any sense?
No.
But you would think
think about it.
They really don't. You're absolutely right. They really don't.
They're undercover. Yeah. You have to tell the truth. So if someone comes up to you, they blow your 6-year cover. That makes no sense.
Wow.
They would never have undercover police officers because everybody would just ask that question.
Yeah,
they were like, I'm a police. Okay, here's my badge. I'm going to go. We'll bring someone else. I mean, it makes no sense.
You're right.
Stop believing that.
Wow. See,
stop spreading that.
That's what I get for listening to these street lawyers like Dcal that don't know nothing.
Have to tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wow. I'm serious. I was stuck with that.
Me too.
I really was.
I was. Yeah.
But
that's what she do. That's what she does.
What I'm saying is, by being a police officer, you're thinking that they're protecting, the community and then doing their job, so they're going to be honest with you. But then they're not being honest with you.
Yeah, and what that does is it makes us believe that police have to be honest, and they absolutely do not. They are permitted to lie. They go to school and train and learn how to lie so that they can get either real confessions or false confessions from you. Because here's their favorite line. We want to know your version of what happened. We don't want to think you're a cold-blooded murderer. We know it was an accident. You tell us what happened.
Yeah, you tell us.
Oh,
yeah, they're right. They care about me. Really, people? Really? They care about me, but they're shooting our brothers in the back. So really,
easily.
Now,
but they care, and they're not going to lie. Does that make any? Okay.
None at all. But again, true or false? Now, help me with that. Since we're on that, can they question the youth?
Yes. So police officers can question children.
They don't need a parent around
without their parents present.
Are you serious?
Yes. There is no law that says they cannot question children without their parents present. And they oftentimes do.
But they're kids.
It doesn't matter.
They can say anything.
And they do.
Yeah.
And then that's how we have the school to prison pipeline. Because they're questioning your children. And so this is the bad thing about that. Parents are at home, like if something happens, they're going to call me first before they talk to my kid. So they don't prepare their kids. I have a video out now where I'm telling people, prepare your kids. When they're going into the principal's office and the principal says, tell us what happened, the children, you need to prepare your children to say, I don't want to make any statements and I don't want to write anything down. They cannot force them to do that. As far as anything that happens outside of, it doesn't have anything to do with their education. Like if there's a fight in school, they don't need to be answering questions. And I tell this to parents all the time. And so what happens when I represent, so the first 5 to 10 years, I just represented juveniles in juvenile court.
Okay.
And now represent adults and juveniles. But what I would have transcripts, like officers asking a 15-year-old what happened. For an hour, he's like, I wasn't there, nothing happened. Then they call the parent, who, by the way, has been sitting out in the hall for the past hour trying to get in. They're not going to let that parent in if the kid confesses. But if the kid doesn't, guess who the second police officer is?
Who?
Mom. She comes in. You better tell them what happened, Mom. Mom. Why? Yeah. You don't even know what your son's going to say.
Right.
So why are you telling him to talk?
Yeah.
Stop. Like, oh my God, stop. So then after the kid is quiet for an hour, mom comes in. As soon as the kid confesses to mom, they take mom out, take the kid in handcuffs, and he's gone.
Wow.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, look what you just did, Mom.
But I say that, but listen, we're all conditioned, right?
Yeah.
To that the police are supposed to help, that the police can't lie,
right,
and that we're supposed to help them. So we do that even when we're sacrificing our children. We keep that same mentality.
Unknowing.
So we have to stop doing that. We have to be more intelligent and more knowledgeable.
And that's why you're here, because you give knowledge. You know, and every chance that you get, you know, you're telling us what's going on. And you said you have a video out?
On my website. It's aminalaw.com. On the face of, as soon as you go to the website, if you watch that video, it talks about children, really not talking to school officials. So the reason I said I'm trying to work on this for the next year.
There's a phrase for that though, right?
Yeah, no attitude, no answers. So the no attitude, no answers was coined by Rhoda Young.
Okay.
And the reason when I say that, because I had a conversation with her about this school to prison pipeline. And she talked to one of my client's mothers about it on one of her podcasts. And while she was talking, she was like, no attitude, no answers. Don't say anything and don't get smart about it.
Well, there you go.
And so I was like, that's a perfect phrase that people can use. Children can remember that. So it, you know, and one of the things I'm teaching, it's counterintuitive, because it's like we should always listen to the guidance counselor, listen to the principals, do what they say. What I'm literally telling you all is, if a principal or guidance counselor asked an 8-year-old, tell me about that fight that you just saw, I'm telling the 8-year-old to say, I don't want to make any statements. I don't want to write anything down. So that is counterintuitive, because it's like telling them to disobey authority, but in a nice way. And it really is. Like it's something that you have to kind of wrap your mind around, because if a principal comes, parents would like to think if a principal starts questioning your child, that your child will be cooperative and tell them everything they want to know.
Right.
But we should not do that in cases that don't deal with the school and what the school is about. So if you think of it this way, the school is about educating your child.
Right.
If they're calling your child to the principal's office to ask them about a fight, the fight has nothing to do with school.
Right.
So in that instance, your child should feel comfortable in saying, I don't want to make any statements. I don't want to write anything down. But we have to tell our children that it's okay to do this. So that when they say, and they will, well, we're going to call your mom if you don't tell us what we want to know. Don't call my mom. I had 5 knives. You know, no, I'm saying whatever it is. The point is, moms and dads have to make sure their children know that if you're in school and you're questioned about an incident that happens at school, you have a right to remain silent. You have a right to not talk about it and not write about it. Because usually what they do, if there's a fight in school, the principals will take out a sheet of paper, hand it out to 30 students in the class. Everyone write down what you saw. And so in unison almost, they pick up their pens and they start writing.
Yeah.
These are all statements. These are children's statements. This is interrogating. Do you see? And then they collect the sheets, hand them over to the police. And then mom is wondering, why did I get a call that my son did this? Well, we have 30 people saying it. So everyone, it doesn't matter whether, even if your child is not involved here. Okay. Let me just put it in practical terms. Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with children, let's say 8 to 10 to 15, maybe.
Yeah.
When you ask your child what happened and there's a fight that they were involved in, usually they don't want to tell you. They don't want to tell you everything they did. Right. Tell the kids, use that same energy when you're talking to the principal.
There you go. There you go.
You don't tell me everything. Right. Don't tell him everything. But they have to know that their parents are going to be behind them. Right. Because in the back of their mind, their mom and dad is like, well, if the principal calls you down to the office, tell them everything. Yeah. Don't tell them anything.
That's the first thing I'd say.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the very least, if you think of it like this, you don't know what your child did.
True.
So if your child admits that they did, I've had cases where 12-year-old boys in the bathroom got their cell phone, taking a picture of one of the guys over the stall using the bathroom.
Wow. Yeah.
That's pornography. That's child pornography. And it's a felony. And so who took a picture? And you think of it like, oh, it's just a prank.
Yeah.
So if your kid does that and then the principal calls them down and they admit to it and then they end up with a felony charge, you're like, I don't understand what happened. Teach your children to not talk to the school officials about things that happen in school that have nothing to do with education. And you can really tell them, look, if you get, and I'm talking about 6, my youngest client was 8. I'm talking about children, so under 18. Just tell them if anything happens at school, and you're questioned, you have a right to remain silent. And if you exercise your right to remain silent, I will support you. So when they call me, I'm going to tell them, is he talking to you? When they say no, I'm going to say, well, he's not going to.
Right.
Stop questioning him. Send him back to class. Send him home. Get him out of there, because in that moment, if they're calling you, he's probably stalled them for about an hour. And they will take kids. Yeah. They'll take kids out of lunch right before lunch. They're hungry. Tell us what you want to know. We'll let you go back to lunch.
That's crazy.
They'll take them right before the right for the bus stop. So just tell what you can tell your young children is, if you do not feel comfortable answering questions, you don't have to answer the question. Just politely say, that's where the no attitude, no answers come from. Right. Politely say, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to write about it. And so just tell them, if you don't feel comfortable, and they'll know, kids know, okay, the principal's asked me something. I don't want to talk about it. They will say, okay, well, my mom said, I don't have to talk about it, and I don't have to write about it, and I don't feel comfortable right now. And then that's teaching them. So you don't have to use big words like you have a right to remain silent. Just tell them, if you don't feel comfortable, I'm going to support you. I'm going to back you. So if they call me, I've got your back. And just let kids know that. And they'll do it. They'll probably do it when they should,
They actually
where's
will.
your essay?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the point is, we have to encourage them to exercise the right to remain silent. We have to let them know that we will support them, moms and dads. So when they call us, they can't use that as a threat.
Yeah, from the beginning, because a lot of parents don't know.
Right.
And not knowing, you always find yourself in a world of trouble. So you have to know. And the children have to. They have to exercise that right. It's unfortunate because you would think that the police or school officials. Here's another thing. Usually the police don't come in until after the school officials have collected all the statements. Okay.
Because the school officials are not state actors. So in court, you can't suppress anything that the school official did. Okay. So they let the principal, the guidance counselor, teachers collect everything, and they just hand it over to the police.
Oh, okay.
So then it's not a police interrogation.
Oh, okay.
So that's how they maneuver that.
Okay, that's how they get around. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And let me just say, Newport News. I had a case in Newport News recently. The officer got on a stand and said, well, the principal was there. That's why we didn't call his mom. I said, what do you mean? Newport News told us that as long as the principal is in the room, we can question kids.
Oh, wow.
I said, really? Wow. I got a FOIA request. I did a FOIA request after that case. There is a memorandum of agreement where the Newport News Public Schools has an agreement with the schools that officers can come in and question the children as long as a school official is present, and they don't have to call the parents.
Oh, wow.
So I'm guessing, and let me say that this is a 2-sentence line in a 20-page memorandum of understanding.
Wow.
I'm sure every other school has that. So officers, and just what I told you all, they don't need it. So legally, they have this memorandum, and the police rely on it. But even without it, they can still question your kids. So I'm not saying that they need this memorandum to question your kids. What I'm saying is that the school is supporting police interrogation without parents being present, and they're doing it in writing.
That's not good.
And parents don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly, because we have to tell our children.
Exactly.
So we have to talk to our children.
We really do. We really do.
And I tell people, if they want to do confessionals, go to your priest, not the police department. I'm sorry, he said
it's not going to go anywhere. All right. Y'all can follow us on Reality Podcast on YouTube channel, SKST Radio. Work Podcast. I'm sorry, y'all. Like and share and subscribe. All right. So I guess we're going to go to a commercial now.
Okay, we're back. And we have a guest here with us. And your name?
Nicole Wilson.
Miss Wilson, Nicole Wilson. I thought you were going to say Nicole Brown.
No. No. Not at all.
Nicole, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am from Virginia Beach. I currently work at Tidewater Community College. Been there for about 19 years. I am the college registrar.
Okay.
And I have 2 children, 2 wonderful children. And when you started talking about the kids, that's kind of like dinged into my mind for my 16-year-old, because I have a 16-year-old son.
Okay. All right.
Definitely talk to him. Did you have any questions about what I?
So that's what I was going to ask you: is educate us. Tell us exactly what we need to do as parents to teach our kids to do the right thing. Because as a mother of a Black child, probably as well as I know, sometimes they are a target on their back. Wherever they go, they go into the mall. It's like, unfortunately, sometimes they can't be kids. They have to always look at life a little bit differently. And I hate that that's the lesson that we have to teach them.
Right.
But I want my son to come home. So I want to prepare him. And some of the things that you said, I did not know that. Yeah. I didn't know that we could teach our child, and that will be his lesson today.
Yeah.
What he needs to do.
Exactly.
And school, I didn't know he could say, I choose not to make a statement at this time.
Right.
Or, things like that. So that was just very intriguing to me. That was just like the best gift ever to hear that. And I think about a lot of our parents, because he plays basketball. He's very much into basketball, and did really, really good this year.
That's good.
Yeah, he got best defender this year. So
all right.
Yeah, so we have a lot of parents that would love to and need to hear that same statement. Just what we need to do to kind of help prepare our boys for the world out there.
Okay, I'll let you know that. Everything you said, I agree with you 100%. I would just, when you say they sometimes have a target on their back, I would say they always have a target on their back. So that's the only tweak that I would make, because this is America. Yeah. So as I was saying, so you can eat, like when you go home, first, if they go to www.aminalaw.com, there is a video there that talks about it. But the bottom line is, when you're dealing with, especially if your son, you said he's 16?
16, just turned 16 last month.
So when school officials have questions, it can be either about something that happened in the school that they believe a student witnessed, or that the student was part of. They usually, if it's something that happened in the hallway, all the teachers usually, have everyone go to class and write down a statement. Okay. Even though everyone is doing it, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Students have that right. Everyone has that right. So when they hand out the sheet of paper, you can put an X on it, hand it back, and say, they can say, I don't want to make any statements. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to write about it. They cannot be forced to talk about things. First, you can't force a child to talk about anything, but they can, especially something that doesn't have to do with their education. What they're doing what the school is doing at that point is they are conducting an investigation where they're using your children to do the investigation. That is not part of the school function. So there's no reason for them to participate in that.
Because this is now getting into different situations.
Right. It has nothing to do with their education.
But as being a kid, they really don't know.
Well, that's why our parents have to tell them. Now, and y'all know, so I know millennials. If you give them the authority or the permission to not talk to somebody, they know what to do. You understand? Usually when your son is called in, if you've already told him, look, if something happens in school and you don't want to make a statement about it, you don't have to. You have a right to remain silent. I will back you. If they call me and tell me that you're not talking about something, if they call me and tell me that you didn't write a statement when they want all the kids to write a statement, I will back you 100%.
So this definitely has to be explained to the child.
You have to tell the children because they're the ones that have to exercise their right. It's their right.
Kids get shook up, especially when an adult is coming up to them like that.
So for 16-year-olds, you can just let them know if something happens and they ask you a question about it, you have a right to remain silent. I will support you if you exercise that right. I encourage students to exercise that right. And then just simply say, I don't want to write about it. I don't want to talk about it. Let's say your son is in the room and everyone hands out the sheets, the teacher to hand out the sheet of papers. He puts an X in it. On it, takes it back. The teacher says, you didn't write anything. He can politely say, I don't want to write anything about this incident. I don't want to talk about it.
There you go.
The teacher's going to say, well, did you see it? I don't want to make any statements. I don't want to write anything.
See, that's when the pressure.
Your son is going to go to the principal's office. They'll say, okay, come with me. They will take him to probably the assistant principal's office first, or his favorite guidance counselor. Guidance counselor is going to say, look, we just want a statement. I don't want to write about it. I don't want to talk about it.
There you go.
Okay, well, come with me. He'll go to the assistant principal's office. He just has to say the same thing. He'll go to the principal's office. Principals will say, okay, well, I'm going to call your mom. You should say, they're going to say, we have your son here. There was an incident at school. We need some information from him. He is not cooperating. Let my son go back to school. If he doesn't want to talk about it, I don't want him to talk about it. At this point, you all are harassing him. He needs to go back to school.
Okay, there you go.
And let him get his education.
Yeah, the buzzword, which is harassment.
Because how many people? This is what you should say first. You should say, look, when he calls the principal, we have your son here. He's being very uncooperative. We just need a statement, and he's not telling us. Did anybody else try to get the statement from him? Yes. He went to Mr. Jones, Miss Johnson, and now he's here. Okay, so you all are harassing my child.
Exactly.
I expect you to get him back in class. I will be there, but he needs to be back in class. At this point, So
exactly.
But we have to know to protect our children. We can't always bow to authority because if you think about what's happening, they're again wasting his time because they want something investigated. It may have something to do with your son or it may not. Even if he's a witness, I tell people, even if you're a witness, you still have a right to remain silent. You always have. It's a constitutional right to remain silent. No one can force you to talk about something. No one should force you.
But you know how it goes, man.
People
they get everything twisted. Oh, you a snitch? You didn't do this, or you didn't volunteer? Why you didn't tell? So that's
who says that.
I mean, your school friends or the
classmates.
Yeah, or classmates.
Well, usually you get bugged for telling,
right?
Like because you're called a snitch, so you're not being a snitch. You know what I mean? Usually you know,
good question. So how should he handle if he gets stopped by the police? Oh, that's my prayer when I leave him that never happens. But what should he do? How should he handle himself if he's ever stopped just for walking with a hood on or whatever, or in the mall? You know, somebody thought that he said something. What should he do?
Okay, so the reason I'm doing this No Attitude, No Answers campaign, and my focus is on school, and if you look at the video, it has nothing to do with the police. It talks about like the principal, the guidance counselor, teachers. Mm-hmm. But the reason I'm starting it there, it's the same exact thing. So if they start thinking about it for their entire, 12 years of school, mm-hmm. then when they encounter the police, it should be the same exact thing. The police, son, where are you going? I don't want to make any statements. Mm-hmm. And am I free to leave? So the only difference is with the police officer, it's the same attitude. Am I free to leave? If the officer doesn't have anything to hold him on, the officer should say yes. Officer's not going to say
yes. Going to say, they're not going to say.
He's not going to have anything to hold him on. But now your son has not done what he's asked him to do.
Correct.
He's not going to. So I don't want to make any statements. Am I free to leave? No. Where are you going? I don't want to make any statements.
Okay. So
it's the same. So I'm starting
here because now I want to be called. At this point, I want him to pick up the phone. I want to be on the line. I want to hear everything. So again, what can he do? Because if that's the statement he makes, and then I've told him he can't make any sudden moves, things like that. Because again, my fear is him not coming home. So
put his hands
what
up.
Can he do? Because I need to be involved at this point. I need.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to call you. But let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. If he gets approached by the police, tell him to put his hands up. This is a sign of surrender. Okay. Let me tell you what's going to happen when he does that. I don't want to talk. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to answer any questions. I don't want to make any statements. His hands are up. Son, put your hands down. I'm scared right now. Keep your hands up.
Listen.
And then that'll put them off guard. Like, why are your hands up? I'm scared. I don't want you to shoot me.
Oh, wow.
So, okay. So it's a different posture. Now, so let me just say this. Let's say I know in Virginia Beach, this is what I usually tell people for the police. In Virginia Beach, they have when you go on the beach, there is a code section that says you have to identify yourself. If a police officer, I know it's a Virginia Beach thing. I don't know what other cities it's in. Wow. Yeah, but if you're on the ocean front and the police officer asks you for your name, I usually tell people in that situation, give them your name, your social security number, your date of birth. That's
Hold
it.
up. Yeah. Oh, whoa.
That is
that's a lot of information.
They will ask you for that. Name, social security number, and date of birth, and that's it. So in Virginia Beach on the ocean front, you are required to identify yourself. I don't know what the other city. If they ask you your social,
that's deep. That's getting real personal.
So like I said, and
what if he doesn't know it?
If he doesn't, that's fine.
Okay.
But there are situations where, sometimes when the police are doing, a traffic stop. Let's use a traffic stop. I don't know if he's driving, but let's say if he's pulled over, you do have to give your license. Right. So the information, if you think about it, the information that's on your license and your registration.
Okay.
But when a police officer asks, where are you going? I don't want to make any statements. Why don't you want to make any statements? I don't want to make any statements. Why were you driving so fast? I don't want to make any statements.
Okay.
Is there anything in your car? I don't want to make any statements. You don't have the right to search my car. Because see, when you start exercising your rights, police are usually, they put off guard. Because they don't expect to exercise their rights. Yeah. And then they get he thinks look, and you can be, it doesn't matter how, so officers are going to be rude sometimes. Mm-hmm. And they're going to yell and they're going to be rude. You should not change your demeanor. Mm-hmm. Give me your license or not. No, tell me where you're going. Tell me where you're going. I don't want to make any statements and talk slow. So this is another thing I told people. Mm. When you talk really fast, it seems like you're being aggressive. But if you slow down your words when you talk
and the tone,
it seems like right. So when you talk to a police officer, just make sure you're talking very slow. And do you see the difference?
Yeah.
So talk very slow and soft and say, officer, I don't want to make any statements. I don't want to give you any more information. You have
Right.
my license, you have my registration. I'm not giving you any more information. You don't have any consent to search. So you have to exercise your rights, but no attitude, no answers.
There you go.
Right.
And make sure you slow down your speech.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest lesson that we have to teach them, because first of all, looking at the world and everything that goes on in the world there, just the news, it's
Right.
somebody that's
Right.
getting killed, getting shot, or getting hurt, or getting humiliated, by the police. Unfortunately, it's the way it is. Not to say everybody's bad, not
Right.
saying that at all. I'm just sharing some of the things that we have seen in the news. And so I need to figure out how to teach my son to remain calm, because he is an emotional person, because I am. I'm very emotional.
Right.
You stopping me, I don't want to know what you're stopping me for. Of course, I know how to handle it, but at being 16, I'm trying to figure out how to keep his emotions in check, trying to teach him how to keep it in check.
Right.
So he's not what you consider aggressive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, our aggressive men that look like us may not come home.
Right.
And that I tell them all the time. That's my thing.
And even if they're not aggressive, they don't come. So this is what you could tell your son, which is just true. You're a black man in America. Expect to be stopped by the police for no reason. So just say, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be stopped by the police for absolutely no reason. They are going to harass you.
Mm-hmm.
Get it out your system right now.
Look for
Right.
Get over it.
Get prepared
today.
Get prepared for it.
Get prepared.
You
'cause
will
it's
be
coming.
harassed.
Right.
Yeah, because it's coming.
This is America. This is what happened. So get all that out your system right now. Go, if you want to go punch a punching bag, go do that, and then come back and let's finish talking.
Right.
But prepare to be harassed by the police. And once you're prepared, this is what you do if that happens. If an officer comes up to you, if he asks you any questions, you can tell him, I don't want to make any statements. I don't want to answer any questions. If he says, I'm investigating a crime,
Okay.
the most, your name, your date of birth. If he asks for your social, give him that. And that's it. But that's whatever, usually what I tell people is whatever's on your driver's license. I know right now you don't have your social on your driver's license.
No, you don't.
But identifying information.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you don't have to make any statements. Were you with, you say, if he says your best friend's name, were you, with John the other day?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make any statements. I don't want to answer any questions. Don't say yes. You don't know what John did. Okay, see, let me tell you what the problem is. You can't lie to the police.
But they can lie to you.
They can lie to us.
Yes.
That's just
Because if you lie to the police, you can get
that's another charge.
found a false report or obstruction.
Yeah.
Then yes, the police can lie to you. So the best thing is just don't say anything. Don't try to think of answers. You don't have to. If he says, were you with John last week? Don't think about whether you with John. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I don't want to make any statements.
Right.
And I'm not making any statements about it. So that's not lying.
Yeah.
It's just saying,
You
I'm
just
not
don't
going to talk about it.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need to take this on the road.
This
this
is
needs to
definite.
be heard across America. Just in our 7
You
cities.
just
It really needs to be heard, because
Very viable
you have
information.
just really educated me. I knew about the things that I wanted to share and teach to my son, but it's different when coming from a legal standpoint. You have given me a just totally different view, which he will
Better
hear
perspective.
tonight.
Yeah.
He will hear tonight and consistently hear over and over again. And I know there are so many parents like myself that will want their kids to hear the same thing, because I think you made a good point when you said, be prepared to get stopped by the police.
Yeah.
Whether it's now,
going to happen.
5 years from now, but get prepared for that.
That's right.
And another thing, when I said if he's walking, always put his hands up, make sure they can see your hands. If a police officer is coming up to you and you're pissed, you've got your hoodie on and you've got your hands in your pocket, take them out and tell them. If your hands are in, first, they're going to tell you to take your hands out their pocket.
Oh, yeah.
But if they do, take your
take
hands
note
out
of
of your
that.
pocket and you
Very
can put them
important.
up.
Yeah.
And you put them up in this fashion, and so they can see that there's nothing in your hands, because the first thing they're going to say, we couldn't see his hands, we thought he had a gun. Don't let them do that. So make sure they can always see your hands. And the goal is really to walk away from these, racist police encounters. You can get as angry as you want, just don't show it.
Yeah.
Deal with it after you've walked away. You know what I'm saying? Right. So just you prepare them. Every Black male should be prepared to be encountered by the police. I would start at age 6. That's where I would start talking to children.
Wow.
They just need to be prepared for it. It's going to happen. This is how you walk away from it alive. Wow. Make sure you slow down your speech. Even if you think you sound like a retard, just make sure. Slow down your speech.
Like Angelo, he's retarded.
We know what you meant.
And he's slow, So
but slow down. There's this one guy that said he puts glasses in the car, eyeglasses. And so if his son is stopped, he tells him to put his eyeglasses on.
God.
Because he looks less threatening. So I think the main thing is just to prepare them and let them know that police officers can lie, police officers will lie, and they do lie. They get false confessions, they get true confessions, but sometimes they just don't care.
You also said one thing about you had a client that maybe been 8, or I can't remember, but you said something about the one that took a picture in the stall.
Yes.
And so he's 16, of course, he's just like any other male. That child pornography really kind of hit me because I knew that, because I always tell my son, don't send pictures of yourself to other people.
That's good.
But what else is considered? Because I would have never thought that. I would think that that's in distaste, demorally, why are you doing something like that? But I would have never thought that.
Child pornography is any picture of a minor in any state of undress. Even if you cannot see the private parts, if a child is sitting on the toilet and you see that the pants are down, even if you can't see the private parts, that's considered pornography because they're in a state of undress.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you have it on your phone, it's considered child pornography. If you send it to someone else, it's considered distribution of child pornography. So any pictures of minors in a state of undress, whether you see their private parts or not.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
Did not know that either.
See, that's tough right there. And that's good. It's education. That's what we do here at the podcast. Try to educate you.
Yes.
So, and a lot of these things start with pranks, but the main thing is trying to condition children and young adults to kind of do the opposite of what we've taught them all their lives, which is to obey authority. Yeah. And so that's why I say it's kind of a mindset thing that you have to change, because now what we're saying is when the principal calls you into the office, don't do what he tells you to do, because he's asking you to write a statement. He might be asking you to write a statement about a fight or something.
Right.
So don't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's something that we also have to reprogram.
Well, I think we're teaching them their God-given right. We're teaching them their legal rights.
Right.
I am supportive of that 100%. So I think that
it's the right to remain silent.
Yes. This needs to be on the road. It really does. I don't know how many times I can say it, but it needs to be on the road.
That's right. Yeah, I like that. I agree with that. I mean, because the other day I got pulled over in the office, asked me for my license, registration, and everything else. I just smiled and put my hands up, and he said, "Where were you between 4 and 5?" I said, "Sir," say that, did he? I said, "Sir, I was in kindergarten."
See, you started something right there.
I thought he was telling the truth. I was like, why would he ask that right away?
Oh my gracious.
I like that. But you shouldn't have said I was in kindergarten. You should have said I don't want to make any statements.
I don't want to make any statements.
Allegedly kindergarten. Well, we had a really great time today, and I hope you got something out of this. Really being serious and honest with you, because anything can happen at any second. You never know if you're coming home or not coming home. But always look, learn, and listen, and be observant.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Don't forget also to follow us on Reality Podcast on YouTube channel, and that's with SKT Radio Network Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Be smart and stay safe.